Hi, welcome to Geek-Tastic. I'm your host Dave Christian, better known as the Indiana Geek. We are back after a long break. We kind of restructured the show a bit. You're going to see it grow. You're going to see it expand. You're going to see guests. We're going to try to get some artists, some creators, some writers on. We're going to discuss news, rumors, topics. We're going to discuss what's coming out new. This is going to be kind of your catch-all for geek news, comic books, pop culture, movies. As always, we welcome your feedback. You can email us at info@skcomics.com. Tell us what you love. Tell us what you hate. Tell us how bad my hair and t-shirt are. I don't care. Just give us some feedback. Visit us on Facebook. Visit us on the web. Follow us on Twitter. Most of all, though, let your freak flag fly, and let's have fun with this. Alright, we're going to start off. I'm going to talk to you about a couple of news stories that broke this week. The first is not a verified news story. It's kind of still in the rumor stage. But it is the talks and rumors that Harrison Ford has agreed to come on to do Star Wars Episode 7 and reprise his role as Han Solo. A lot of people ask me when they come in the shop here at Sidekick Comics, they ask me what I think about the Disney takeover of Star Wars. And here's my 2 bits. Take it for what you want. My opinion is this. Disney has not done wrong by us yet with Star Wars. I think this is a good move. Lucasfilm is still intact as a company. The same people are in charge. They're just now kind of a subdivision of Disney. And I'm gonna be supportive of it until Disney does something to take away my support. I don't think Disney as a company is stupid. I don't think they're going to do something that's going to defy this huge fan base that they already are being given with Star Wars. As far as the rumors, the talk of Harrison Ford returning, I think it's a good thing. I think you got to have some of these old characters to help bridge the gap and tie it over. You keep hearing the rumor that Ford has said he will do it if Han Solo dies, which was originally the plan for Return of the Jedi, but you know, merchandising and toys kind of got in the way of having a dead Han Solo. So I think it's a good thing. I think if Harrison Ford comes back and if Han Solo dies in Episode 7 or in one of the new movies, I think it'll be a great classic film moment for us. So I think it's exciting. I think it's a good thing. And until, you know, there's a reason otherwise, I will continue to be a huge Star Wars fanatic and support this move. And I will, you know, be excited that there's new movies coming out. We hear all the talk about the standalone movies, that they're going to do one for Boba Fett, for Yoda, for a young Han Solo. I think these are all cool ideas, and I think they'll be done well. I think they'll be successful, and I think they're going to help keep Star Wars alive for generations to come. The other kind of a big news story, at least in my eyes, that came out this week was the announcement that Geoff Johns was going to be leaving Green Lantern in May. Green Lantern's a book that Geoff Johns has been a part of, or the Green Lantern world at least, in one capacity or another since 2004. So it's been, you know, a long run for him, and he's done a lot of major things in reshaping the Green Lantern universe. A lot of the things that we know and we just take as basic Green Lantern information he created, and they didn't always exist. He was responsible for the bringing in that there were, you know, 2 Green Lanterns for every sector. He brought in all the various, you know, ring colors. There once upon a time there was only, you know, one guy with the ring, Star Sapphire, and then a guy with the yellow ring, and that was all there was. Well, now we have this rainbow of colors in the Green Lantern universe. You know, a lot of the things that we accept and that we love about the Green Lantern universe, Geoff Johns brought in. But he's just decided that it's time to kind of move on. He writes Justice League. He's going to focus on that corner of the DC universe. Okay, now I'm going to discuss and talk to you about a few of the highlight books coming out this week. They're coming out tomorrow, Wednesday, February 20th. There are actually a lot of great books that are coming out this week. I'm very excited. There's some significant number ones that I think will be big. There is from IDW, the new G.I. Joe #1, which is kind of a retooling of G.I. Joe in a way. The story is that G.I. Joe has been ousted to the public. They're no longer a secret organization. And they have a new team member aboard who's kind of a media relations person to help kind of make this transaction. And he does, you know, blogging and all these things that you see. So it should be interesting. I'm always a big fan when a licensed property from the 80s comes back, and hopefully it's done well. We also will get Justice League of America #1, which is going to be a very cool book. It's going to feature the new Green Lantern, Simon Baz. It's going to feature Hawkman. It's going to feature Vibe, Katana, all these people. It's going to have Martian Manhunter in the book, I think in the backstory, or the backup story. It should be a really big book. It's going to be a prominent book in the DC universe. They've done this huge push with all these variant covers with the state flags. So it's going to be a big book. A lot of these, Hawkman and some of these characters, their individual titles are getting canceled, so they're going to play a very big role in this. This is how their characters are continuing on. There's also Marvel's coming out with Nova #1, which is promising to be also a major book in their universe as they move forward into this space kind of phase of their development and their movies with Guardians of the Galaxy coming out and all these things. Nova they're very much pushing it. They're trying to make Guardians of the Galaxy, Nova, books like these. They're trying to build them up to the level of the Avengers and some of those characters and get them on that same popularity level. So I would expect good things from the Nova book because, like I said, they're trying to establish this as the next, one of the next big characters in the Marvel Universe. And then we'll also get Superior Spider-Man #4 comes out. So far that series, the first 3 books, in my opinion, has been really, really strong, really well written. And I'm curious to see where they go with it. So issue 4 should be good. And then we get my 2 personal favorite books, X-O-Man of War #10, which begins the Planet Death story arc, where Eric, in his X-O-Man of War article, is going to invade the Vine Planet. And then what is my favorite book going right now, Saga #10 comes out. If you're not reading Saga, immediately get on it. Saga has so much across-the-board appeal in all genres and age groups. It is a great, great book, very well done. It is my favorite book going right now. Image Comics has done a wonderful job with it. All right, now I'm being joined by Isaac Brown. Isaac is a member of the new comedic trio Bro Stew, which you can catch on the Sidekick Comics YouTube channel. They're doing 3 shows. They're doing one called Backwards Read, which is about manga, and one called AFK, which is about video games. Both of those will debut this week. And then they also will do a sketch comedy show called Iznaki Shenanigans, which will debut next week. So Isaac, tell us a little bit. You do Bro Stew with a couple of your buddies, Noah Zaresko, Kyle Feathour. Tell us, how did this come about? How did the interest in doing these shows, doing this little comedic trio thing, how did this all come to be?
Well, me and my friends, one day we were just talking. We were like, we should probably we're funny people. I mean, well, sometimes, and we want to kind of project that out to the people. We have other passions other than just being funny. Manga, video games are 2 things that we all kind of have in common. And we kind of want to be like some people we really like on YouTube. There's some people on YouTube that we kind of we look up to because they've been on YouTube for a long time, and we kind of just want to be out there like they are, and we just kind of maybe one day get big. You never know.
Well, we won't discuss the modern day perils of finding YouTube stars as role models, but they are. When you see these 3 guys together, they are funny. They're wacky in their unique little way. And they do have all these geek passions, which they combine with the comedy. So it should be fun. Like I said, we have the manga show Backwards Read, the video game show AFK, both debuting this week. The Iznaki Shenanigans, which is kind of a sketch comedy, almost a Saturday Night Live type thing, kind of wacky and weird, will be out next week. So make sure you catch those. Make sure you follow them on Twitter, like them on Facebook, give them a little love, give them a little support. But Isaac's he's talking with us here about. Isaac's a huge DC Comics fan, a huge Batman fan, and he's going to discuss we're going to talk about some of the DC story arcs that are going on, because right now DC they got some great stories that are going on. Some of them have just wrapped or are wrapping, but they are great stories. Of course, we had the big Batman arc, Death of the Family, which just wrapped up. We won't give any spoilers of what happened. It just wrapped up last week, but there is still some fallout from that I think we'll see over the next few issues of some books. But then they also have the Hell on Earth book going into the Superman titles, the Throne of Atlantis that's written in Justice League and Aquaman, and the whole First Lantern thing, which is written in the Green Lantern books. Right now, DC has some great stories going on. They have some amazing writers, and it just seems like DC, everything's just clicking for them right now. Isaac, what do you think these stories are? I mean, this is some of the best stuff I've seen in years come out from DC.
I mean, for instance, I started reading Batman, and when I read Core of the Owls, that was a huge arc in DC. But then I went over to Superman, which I really don't read that often. I went to Superman, and it was almost better than, you know, Batman, because they had such continuity within 3 books, but it expanded multiple universes. I mean, they brought the Justice League into the Hell on Earth thing, and I really thought that was awesome. But, like, I'm also, like he said, I'm a huge Batman fan, so I'm kind of impartial to Batman. You know, Scott Snyder is an amazing writer. He's been leading the whole Death of the Family thing, and, you know, I've been trying to read Throne of Atlantis as well, and it's really good what I read. I'm going to have to keep catching up on that, because I keep getting a little behind on that.
But, and the funny thing is, even as good as everything's been, they have things coming that, I mean, that to me are even more exciting. They've not disclosed anything, but they're saying that the next arc in Batman, it will be even bigger than anything they've done before. And I don't know how you follow Court of the Owls and how you follow Death of the Family, but they're saying it's gonna be even bigger than that. Of course, Scott Snyder, who has written Swamp Thing, he's leaving Swamp Thing, but yet this summer he's debuting a book with Jim Lee, Man of Steel, Superman book, which is going to be extraordinary. To think of Scott Snyder and Jim Lee doing a Superman book together is very exciting. And then there's always this rumor that it started in Free Comic Book Day last year, their book, and they're continuing on that at some point there's going to be this arc called Trinity, which is supposed to be kind of a shape-shifting thing for the DC universe. There's not been any information. It's a Trinity War thing. It's supposed to be huge. DC, with some of the writers, like you said, with Scott Snyder, and of course you have Jeff Johns, and you have, you know, Jim Lee on the art side, and all these guys, James Tynion IV. They have all these great writers and these artists, and everything is so together. It just feels like they have these big meetings and plan everything, because everything is just so fluid. And the great thing is a lot of these writers and stuff are young, and you know, and their best years are probably still ahead of them. Like I said, if you've not read Scott Snyder, you know, check him out. He's done the Swamp Thing, which is extraordinary. Batman was extraordinary. You know, he has American Vampire, which is his book that is great. And then his protege, so to speak, is James Tynion IV, who does Talon, and is getting ready to do Red Hood and the Outlaw. So DC's very, very, you know, right now, as far as comic books themselves go, is very good. Now the question is going to be, though, can DC cross the line over that Marvel did, and with Justice League, the movie coming out in 2015, you know, can DC achieve that kind of success with movies and such? Do you? I mean, these characters are iconic. I don't know how they can't get it right to cross over to movies, but yet, I mean, well, obviously the Batman trilogy was great and it was successful, but you know, they've not really put out a successful Superman movie in a while. Although Man of Steel looks extraordinary to me. I think at the time's right. I think DC's ready, and I think they're about to cross over, and you're going to see. I think Justice League in 2015 will be a huge, huge movie for them.
Yeah, I mean, I hope Justice League does good. I mean, I think that, you know, DC has done some floppers, I won't lie. I as a huge DC fan, it's hard for me to say that, but it's true. But, you know, I have good hopes for the future. I have good hopes for Justice League. I have good hopes for the new Green Lantern movie. You know, I just have hope for DC in general. Isaac,
thanks for joining us. Remember to catch Bro Stew. You'll be glad you did. They're here on our Psychic Comics channel. Make sure you subscribe to us. All of our videos will pop up in your feed. So, Isaac, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
All right, that's going to do it for this week on Geektastic. We're just getting our feet back in the water. Like I said, in the future, you will see more guests like Isaac on the show. Maybe at some point we can have Bro Stew as a collective on the show, which should be an adventure. But like I said, I'm in talks with some writers, some creators, trying to get some people to come in, maybe do some phone interviews or whatever. We're trying to really expand the show. So, like I said, give us a like on Facebook if you haven't already. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Come see us here at the shop. We'll make sure we take good care of you. But whatever you do, just keep reading comics, keep supporting the industry. And just remember, have fun, live your life one panel at a time. We'll see you next week. Thanks.